Namaste. I am JV Dr. Priyanka BAIRWA from Faculty of Physiotherapy and Diagnostics. In this video, I am talking about neurologic assessment. So let's start. Firstly, I'm teaching you structure and function of CNS because this is the basic of the neurological assessment. Firstly, we are talking about CNS system. So these are the CNS. These are the part of the CNS. First is cerebellum, which is in which frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, Wernicke's areas, Broca's areas. Now, basal ganglia, thalamus, cerebellum, brainstem, in the brainstem, midbrain, pons, and medulla. Then lastly, spinal cord. These are the structure which is involved in the CNS. Now, we are talking about pathways of CNS. Uh, Firstly, closed representation, sensory pathways. It has sensory pathways, which is spinothalamic tract or posterior or dorsal column. Next is motor pathways. Motor pathway, it means corticospinal tract, or it's also known as pyramidal tract. Now, extrapyramidal tract or cerebellar system. Now we are talking about upper motor neural region and lower motor neural region. Uh, what is the upper motor neural region? It means these are the neurons which is present in the brain, which called upper motor neuron, and lower motor neuron, it means these are the neuron which is present in the spinal cord, which is, for example, like anterior horn cell is also known as lower motor neuron. Now, this is a picture of the cerebral cortex. In this picture, you can see different lobes of the cerebellum, cerebral cortex, and you can easily see the sulcus and the gyrus in the brain. Now, this is the picture. This is another picture which is represent the internal parts of the brain, like the corpus callosum, thalamus, internal capsule, basal ganglia, hypothalamus, uh, pituitary, and like that. Now, this is a picture of sensory pathways. You can see the sensory pathways, and it is started from the your cerebellum, cerebellar cortex, and um, gone to downwards. Now, we are talking about subjective data, and we are in this we are talking about the assessment of the brain and neurological assessment. Now, this is the subjective data and the health history questions. First is headache, head injury, dizziness, vertigo, seizures, tremors, and weakness. Now, objective data. In the objective data, we can do physical examination. First is preparation. For the preparation, screening, neurological examination, complete neurological examination, and the neurologic recheck. Now, equipment needed. Pen light, tongue blade, cotton swab, cotton ball, tuning fork, which is a 128 or 256 hertz, and percussion hammer, and occasionally needed familiar aromatic substance. Now, objective data. Firstly, we test cranial nerves. So that's why uh, I firstly I introduce you cranial nerves. There are 12 cranial nerves in your brain. First is olfactory, second is optic, third is oculomotor, fourth is trochlear, and because your oculomotor, trochlear, and sixth nerve, which is abducent, are supplied to the optic muscle. That's why we include uh, uh, same time. Now this is a sixth. Now next is fifth, trigeminal nerve, which has motor function, sensory function, and corneal reflex. Now we are moving on the seventh nerve, which is facial. It has motor function and sensory function. Now This is the eighth nerve, which is acoustic nerve or vestibular cochlear nerve. Now, eighth nerve, which is the glossopharyngeal, and tenth is vagus, which has motor function as well as sensory function. And next is 11th nerve, which is spinal or accessory nerve. And next is 12th nerve, which is hypoglossal nerve. Now, this is the picture. Um, with the help of this picture, you can remember the cranial nerves very well. In this picture, you can see S mean sensory, M mean motor, and the B mean both. It means it has property of the sensory as well as motor. You can easily remember the nerve functions by the help of this picture. Now we are moving on the motor system. Means we can inspect or palpate. Firstly, muscle. In the muscle, we can measure muscle size, muscle strength, tone, involuntary movements. Now the cerebellar function. For the cerebellar function, we can test balance, balance test. In this, gait, tandem walking, Romberg's test, and shallow knee bend. Now we are moving on the coordinated and the skill movements, which is rapid alternating movements, finger to finger test, finger to nose test, and heel to shin test. Now sensory system, which is person is alert, cooperative, and comfortable. Guideline for the sensory testing. Spinothalamic trait. In this, we can assess the spinothalamic trait like the sensation for the pain, temperature, and touch, and we can also assess the posterior column tract. We can check for the vibration, position like the kinesthesia, tactile discrimination like fine touch, and also we can assess for the stereognosis, graphesthesia, two-point discrimination, extinction, and point location. Now, test the stretch and the deep tendon reflex. These techniques, grading and reinforcement, we can use the reflexes like the biceps reflex, triceps reflex, brachioradialis reflex, quadriceps reflex, and Achilles reflex, or this is also known as ankle jerk or cloners. That's for the superficial reflex like the abdominal reflex, cremasteric reflex, and plantar reflex. Now, neurological recheck, and we can uh, also check the level of the consciousness like person, place, and time. Now, motor function and pupillary reflex or pupillary response and vital size and Glasgow Coma scale. Um, in this picture, you can see the level of the consciousness, and consciousness is going down as it goes down in this picture. Like firstly alert, second is verbal stimulus, third is pain stimuli, and lastly unresponsiveness. Now, in this picture, you can see the Glasgow Coma scale, which has three different criteria like eye opening, verbal command, and motor response. You can see them in this picture. Now, papillary changes. Oculomotor response like cranial lobe third, size, equality, the roundedness of the pupils assist, size measure in the millimeters, evaluated for the symmetry in size and response to the light stimulus, brisk, sluggish, non-reactive. Conjugal reaction of the opposite pupil at the same time. Now, pupillary changes to the light. You can see in this picture uh, how how people respond to the light. Now, pupillary changes. Assist accommodation by the holding finger. 4 to 6 inches from the client's nose and then pull out to the 18 inches. As finger moves away, people will accommodate by the dilating as fingers move closer, constricting. Earlock, people's equal and reactive to light and accommodation. Motor function, ability to follow command, muscle tone, muscle strength, coordination, balance like Romberg test and posturing. Posturing, it is divided into different posture like the decorticate and decerebrate. You can see this picture and you can see different type of posture. First is decorticate and second is decerebrate. In the decorticate you can see the patient positioning in the flexive position in which his or her hand in the flexive position and his leg also in the flexive position. Now second picture which is decerebrate, and you can see in this picture the extensor positioning in which his hand in the extensor and lower limb also in the extension. Now we are moving on the flaccid. Flaccid in case no tone, and you can easily see in this picture the patient is they not have any tone. Now, sensory function. Sensory function, it means tactile sensation, pain, temperature, vibratory sensation, and tactile discrimination. Reflexes. Reflexes are the superficial reflexes, dependent reflexes like biceps reflex, triceps reflex, patellar reflex, Achilles tendon reflex, or plantar reflex, which is called Babinski response. You can see this picture for the plantar reflex. Now, assess speech and hearing. Clear and appropriate, confusion, inappropriate, garbled, aphasia, which is expressive or receptive, limited hearing, or use of hearing aids. Now, in this picture, you can see the sample charting. It means this is the example, or this is the um, it means how you write assessment form. Like this is the subjective, and you can see we can write like non-usually frequent or the severe headaches, no head injuries, dizziness or the vertigo, seizures or tremors, no weakness and numbness or tingling, difficulty swallowing and or speaking, has no past history of the stroke and spinal cord injuries and meningitis or alcoholism. This is the only an example. Now we are moving in this next is this is also sample of the objective, how to write objective status like the mental status, appearance, behavior, speech appropriate, alert, and the oriented to the person, place, and time, recent and remote memory intact. Now this is the cranial nerve examination, and you can see how to write. Now, this is a continuously objective examination, and in this, you can write motor, sensory, and reflexes. Right? So that's all. Thank you. If you have any concern and queries related to this video, you can comment in the comment box. And this video is powered by digital version of 2.0. And खुश रहिए बिटिया.